one of the symbols of the city, the Alcazaba of Malaga. Join me on this tour and let's discover its wonders, its gardens, its fortifications, its history, its palaces, its fountains, its patios, and the scenic route to the palace, not to mention the view from the top. Places, events, and cultures here on my body when wondering. Commentary provided. There's a portrait here, or Alcazaba. It's nothing compared to the Alcazar of Sevilla and of, let's say, Granada. But there are traces of its glorious past. And in addition to that, there's a Roman amphitheater. And welcome inside. As we gently walk up this citadel, I'd like to share you a brief history of this place. Of all the Islamic monuments that remain in Spain, there's just a few which can be compared with the Alcazaba of Malaga. If you think I'm exaggerating, you will see how you change your mind once you take a look around this impressive medieval fortress that began to rise almost 1,000 years ago, apparently on the remains of former fortifications. The first citadel was going to go through thousands of modifications in the following centuries. Here it was the Berber king of Granada, but his bin Abbas thought it was a good idea to reinforce the defenses by building a citadel, Alcazaba in Spanish. But although the function of the enclosure was mainly military, its walls also sheltered palaces, patios, gardens, and ponds that brought beauty to the palace as you now see them, like many other Muslim buildings of the time. They wanted to leave it so pretty that they even took or borrowed the statues and marbles of the Roman theater next door. The first citadel was going to go through thousands of modifications in the following centuries, as it usually happens. The Muslim kings dominated the city one after the others, and they all made their own reforms and contributions to this place until the monarchs Isabel and Fernando arrived back in 1487 with serious intentions to take the city. They sat patiently, prepared to wait for the defenders to surrender. This way the Christians took Malaga, and the first thing they did was to raise the flag, the royal flag, and the banner with the cross in the citadel. The siege was over, but the fortress, which has been very well preserved until then, would still have to endure centuries to come, with a couple of bombings and some earthquakes too. The fortress that we see now had to go through all this until it reached our current day. And it turned to be one of the symbols of the city. This wonder doesn't deserve less. Its beauty almost matches the Alhambra in Granada, and like this Muslim defensive work, there is nothing comparable anywhere else in Spain. Enjoy the rest of the views. See you later as we resume our tour to the castle, the Gibralfaro Castle. you're finding this video entertaining as well as informative, don't forget to subscribe. Click the bell icon so that you won't miss any uploads on places, events, and cultures. Thank you. As expected, there's not much to see here at the fortress. That's why the palace deserves a visit, which is much higher, but it deserves that walk. It's not that arduous, it's just too hot. Bring your protection and lots of water, or perhaps just a bottle would suffice. I forgot to mention there's a cafe on top. Let's start our climb, and we're taking the uphill street close to the Alcazaba entrance. It's called Juan Timburi Street, and would leave us, we'll take the scenic stairs close to the Municipal Heritage Museum as we go down. That's more scenic. If it's rainy, it's better to avoid walking up or down, or if you still want to do it, wear non-slip shoes. Most of the way is made of slate, so it's very slippery when it's wet. A lot of people fall during a rainy day, and it can be very dangerous. Moreover, it's not recommended to walk to the castle during the summer between 1 and 6 p.m. if you don't want to end up with a heat stroke. Again, if you want to go during these hours, bring with you water, a hat, and sunscreen. As we do. And we are here at the castle. there's not much to see here, but there's an exposition inside. On top of this mountain are the remains of a small fortification dating back to Phoenician-Punic times. During the reign of Abderraman III, the Muslims also built a defense on this mountain. The castle we can see nowadays was mostly built by Yusuf I in 1340 AD in order to improve the defense of Malaga. The Nasrid Kingdom was isolated on the peninsula and was surrounded by the Kingdom of Castille, to which it had to pay tribute to keep its land safe. Because of this situation, the only way to protect the kingdom from possible attack was to construct various rings of walls that were reinforced with hundreds of towers. Malaga was an almost impregnable city, but it had one weak point: this mountain. We're returning to the lowlands. Don't go yet because, as promised, we're taking a different route. A more scenic route. We're taking the stairs through the vegetation down to the park next to the Municipal Museum. Exercise this girl. This is hot. Let us enjoy it. We're back on the lowlands, and that concludes our tour of the Alcazaba of Malaga. I hope you enjoyed it and you found it entertaining as well as informative. Don't forget to subscribe and see you on the next video.